Today, we will be looking at 5 deadly traps for white pieces in the Caro-Kann defense. Each trap is going to catch your opponents off guard and you will win in few moves. So let's move on to our first trap. The first trap is in the main line of the Caro-Kann defense. D takes e4, knight takes e4. Black offers a knight exchange, but here you go with queen to d3. Black goes e5, striking in the center. You are going to capture this pawn. Queen a5 check regains the pawn and also hits the knight and the b2 pawn at the same time. But here you are not going to save your knight. Instead, just long castle here. And here, black can either take with the queen or with the knight. Let's first look at knight takes on e4. You are going to play this amazing queen sacrifice with queen to d8 check, forcing the king to take. And after that, bishop to g5 is a double check. If king to e8, then rook to d8 will be a checkmate. And if king to c7, then bishop to d8 is a checkmate. And even if here black takes with his queen, then you can just play rook to e1 and this queen is gone. Let's move on to our second trap. This trap is in the two knights attack variation of the Caro-Kann defense. After black takes, you can recapture this pawn with your knight. Bishop f5 is a common move. You are going to attack this bishop with knight g3. Bishop moves back. Then h4, trying to trap this bishop. h6 creates an escape square. Now you are going to attack this bishop further with knight e5. Bishop moves back. And here you go with queen to h5, threatening a waiting one. Black plays g6, preventing this checkmate and also attacking the queen. But here you are going to play an amazing move, bishop to c4, sacrificing your queen. If g takes on h5, and then bishop takes h7 is a checkmate. But your opponent will see that. Therefore here, he will not capture your queen. Instead, he is going to play e6, blocking your bishop. Now the queen is hanging, so bring your queen to e2. This further sets a trap. Here, each of these natural looking moves is completely losing for black. First, let's look at knight f6. Now here you are going to play knight takes f7, forking the queen and rook. So king takes, and then queen takes e6 check, king moves, and then queen to f7 is a checkmate. What if here black goes knight d7? Then you are going to follow up with the same idea of knight takes f7, king takes, queen takes, king moves to g7, and then queen f7 is a checkmate. How about bishop g7? Again, knight takes f7, king takes, queen takes, and then king moves, and then queen to f7 is again a checkmate. So let's move on to our next trap. This trap is in the main line of the Caro-Kann defense. After black takes, knight takes, black goes knight f6. You are going to exchange the knights here. Black takes with the e pawn. You will play bishop c4. He goes bishop e7, preparing to castle. Now queen to h5 threatens mating one. So black castles. Knight to e2. We are also preparing for castling. He goes g6, attacking our queen. So queen f3. That knight d7 is a natural looking move. And here you are going to play bishop to h6, attacking this rook. Black is going to play rook to e8, saving the rook. But this is a blunder. And it loses to the brilliant move, bishop takes f7. He cannot even touch the bishop, because if he takes this bishop, then queen to b3 is a checkmate. Therefore, he will play king h8, and after that, you are going to take this rook You're up an exchange and a pawn, and your position is also very good. Let's move on to our next trap. This one is quite a cool one. In the Caro-Kann defense, after c6, you are going to play knight to f3. He goes with the usual d5 move. You are going to defend this pawn with e3. After black takes, we are not going to recapture. Instead, play knight to g5, hitting this pawn back. So black takes this pawn. You are going to recapture this with the bishop. And here, knight to f6 is one of the most common moves, but loses to knight takes f7, forking his rook and queen. So king takes, and after that you are going to play bishop to g6, and no matter what black does, this queen is lost and you are completely winning in just 7 moves. Let's move on to our last trap. This is one of my favorite one and works most of the time. This is in the Caro-Kann defense main line. After black takes, you recapture with the knight. Black offers his knight. Here you are going to play this tricky move, queen to e2. And here, so many players have gone knight b d7, thinking that if you take with the knight, he can recapture with the other knight. But you are going to smash him with knight to d6, checkmate. He cannot take because this pawn is pinned to the king, and you just win the game in 6 moves. For more chess traps, you can check the left video, and if you want traps in the quiz gambit, then you can check this right video. And if you don't want to miss more of these videos, then don't forget to subscribe.